Today I will help you choose a PlayStation 5 tablet versus digital. Which is better? Do you know which console is best for you? In this video, we compare the PS5 Disc versus Digital Edition consoles and find out which one is the best. We'll show you all the specs, storage and price for each console and help you find which one suits your needs. Welcome to our PS5 Disc versus PS5 Digital comparison. In this video, we'll take a deeper look at the two different ways of getting your hands on the new PlayStation 5 console. There are a lot of factors at play when deciding which is right for you, and it can be tricky to decide, so let's try to make it as clear as possible for you. PS5 Disc versus Digital. Price. The PS5 Digital Edition is the same as the standard PS5, but lacks the optical drive, size and weight. Since both consoles use the same custom processor and even have the same 825GB SSD, there's no difference in performance or what games can be played. On August 25, Sony announced that the PlayStation 5 will increase in price in some markets but not in the US. This means that if you buy a PlayStation 5 in the UK, EMEA, Asia Pacific, Latin America or Canada, you may be paying 10% more than when the console was launched in November 2020. Again, the United States will not be affected, which means that the PlayStation 5 tablets and PlayStation 5 digital versions will be priced the same as before, at least for now. Despite the price hike, our price comparison between the two PS5 consoles remains the same. For one, the PS5 digital version wins, considering the PlayStation 5 console's cheaper upfront price. The PS5 digital is $399 per £359, while the standard PS5 disc is $499 per £449. But don't let the initial price fool you. When you buy a video game, you'll be forever associated with Sony's digital storefront. Sony's online sales are certainly excellent, but it's still rare that the digital version of the game is cheaper than the disc version. Also, when you buy a digital toy, you can't do anything with it. With the disc, however, you can trade in. It retains some value, lend to a friend, and rest assured that the purchase will be playable for years to come if Sony decides to take the PlayStation Store offline. Suppose you have an existing collection of physical PS4 games. If so, you won't be able to play them on PS5 Digital, nor will you be able to get physical copies of PS5 games, which are often cheaper than digital a few months after release. Sorry, PS5 Digital. Still, also the PS5 Digital Edition's lack of a slice drive also means you can't use it as a 4K blue shaft player, if that wasn't bad enough. Streaming services like Netflix and Disney Plus may be all the rave these days, but knowing you have a 4K blue shaft player to hand makes the redundant $100 you have to pay indeed lower of an issue. PS5 Disc versus Digital. Specs. The PS5 Digital Edition and the standard PS5 are identical piecemeal from the missing slice drive, confines, and weight. There's no difference in performance or which games can be played, as both consoles use the same custom processor and indeed have the same 825GB SSD. Then are the sanctioned PS5 Disc versus PS5 Digital specs, straight from Sprice, $499 per $399. The PS5 has had two variations since its launch, making the press significantly lighter overall. The PS5 slice was firstly 4.5 kg but is now 3.9 kg, while the PS5 Digital Edition was 3.9 kg and is now 3.4 kg. Sony has changed the press's heatsink, which has helped shave many pounds off the PS5's weight, bringing shipping and manufacturing costs down over time. PS5 Disc versus Digital. SSD. The PS5 disc and digital models have the same 825GB SSD capacity. There's no difference in lading times or performance, and you can add further storehouse to both consoles via the empty SSD bay. Still, indeed, though the PS5 storehouse is announced at 825GB, you only get 667.2GB of usable space. That means 19 of the PS5's drive is reserved for obligatory lines. With the average PS5 game taking around 20GB to 50GB of installation space, effects can fill up presto. It's worth flashing back that every PS5 slice also installs onto the SSD, so it's not just digital titles that will eat up storehouse space. The good news is that the price of the stylish SSD for PS5 continues to fall, with indeed 2TB options getting more affordable. Your stylish bang for your buck is still 1TB drives, but if you Someone who really needs further space, at least 2 terabytes capacity drives are no longer a pipe dream. PS5 disc versus digital games. The only difference, as you might have guessed, is that you can only play digital copies of PS5 and PS4 games on the disk drive-free model of Sony's console. Again, if you have an extensive library of PlayStation 4 games on disc, you will not be able to play them on the digital version of the PlayStation 5. You will also miss out on getting PlayStation 5 upgrades at a cheap price. For less than their digital counterparts, you can often find physical PlayStation 4 versions with a free or paid PlayStation 5 upgrade, such as Death Stranding, Final Fantasy VII Remake, and even Horizon Forbidden West. Digital copies aren't all bad, though. It is much more convenient if you want to switch between multiple games at once, since you don't have to worry about changing discs. This makes digital releases a tempting proposition, but you can still buy digital games on the PlayStation 5 disc version, which gives you the best of both worlds. Some people miss this critical fact in this comparison. Should I buy PS5 disc or digital? The lower price point is the most significant benefit of choosing the PS5 digital edition over the PS5 disc version. As I've already mentioned, the PS5 digital edition costs $399 instead of the PS5 disc price of $499, as it doesn't have a disc drive, so you're saving $100, which isn't an insignificant amount. That saving might be enough reason for some to pick the digital version of Sony's console, as you could feasibly put the savings towards one of the lovely new PS5 controller colors, a couple of games, or one of the best PS5 accessories. But over time, it's almost a guarantee you'll spend more on PS4 and PS5 games, and you also lose some functionality like being able to play 4K Blu-ray discs. Of course, the choice of which PS5 you buy is ultimately up to you, but it's easier to find the standard PS5 in stock than its digital-only counterpart. Sony has opted to choose its PS5 disc console for bundles, the latest of which includes Horizon Forbidden West. You may have no choice but to buy the standard PS5, but as I've said from the outset, that's no bad thing.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.